Okay, now as I was saying earlier, you have this witness, Miss Molootsi, um, and as I told you all, one of the questions she was asked during the course of being examined was, did she see any other vehicles at that residence? And here it is. It said, and did you see any other cars parked outside that day? No. No, there were no other cars. No. So your best recollection, as you testified today, there was no other automobiles parked outside of the house on Rita Lane. Is that right? Yes, sir. You agree with me then when I say there was no other cars? Yes. Okay. Now, this is Fred Bass's testimony. We're going to go to Fred Bass's testimony. And here is Fred Bass testifying. He said, I told y'all, he told me to just come out there. And he was saying come to my house. And he asked me, was I in a rental car? He said, did I have a rental car? And I told him, yep. And later I went to his house to meet him. And so he said that he came out to my house to meet me in New Market, Alabama. This is Fred Bass. And he's asking him, where was that, Mr. Bass? Where did you go? Melvin was at his house. Yes, where was that at, Mr. Bass? Stay out on the road in New Market, Alabama. It says, yes, sir. And said, I went out there to Melvin's house. Once I arrived there, he just asked me for the keys to the rental car I was in. He said he didn't want to use his car because he didn't want anybody to recognize anyone in his car, so he asked to use the rental car. He's saying that I asked to use the rental car that he was in, and he's saying, and I gave him the keys to the rental car, and I got in his car. And he told me to meet him on Rita. All right, Rita Lane is his address. That's Fred Bass, Perry on Roberts. That's where they live. And it says he was going to pick the guy up, so he told me to meet him on Rita. At that point, had he told you it was Andre? No, he never gave me his name, but he told you to meet on Rita. Yes. Go ahead, what did you do? So I took his car and went to Rita, and it so happened that the car keys were on the rental car, so he's saying that he had to be let in his house. But you see him saying that he drove my car to Rita Lane. That's what Fred Bass testified to. But yet, when Joan Molootsi, the state's witness, was questioned and asked, did you see any other cars parked on Rita? No, no other cars. No other cars. No other cars on Rita Lane. But Fred Bass is saying that I was on Rita Lane. And remember, Fred Bass, originally, I became a suspect when the police said, when Fred said the police were giving him information and giving him my name. That's what Fred Bass testified to. That's in the record. He said this interrogator is giving you a name and telling you Melvin Ray is a suspect. No explanation why. Molootsi, I didn't see another car. No one. Y'all saw the testimony earlier where he said no physical evidence, and you did not find any physical evidence that Melvin Ray had been in that house on March 26th. No, sir. This is the investigator. So no car by Molootsi, no physical evidence, none of the above. Okay? Alright. Now we're going to get past this. We're going to move on from this and get back to Molootsi, because I was about to show you all, this is what the private investigator said. He said, it's Sunday night and I just got back from church and listened to your message. I'm sorry we didn't get to talk. I waited until 4:15 and had to leave so I could get back to church. I'm enclosing the pictures that I took last week. They were taken from the kitchen of the house where Miss Molootsi was living when she said she saw Melvin and the other black male that she couldn't identify. Yeah, if she could identify one, she should have been able to identify both. Since I also took